I think we're good. It's 6:03. All right, let's go. Let's start. And anyway, I'm going to make sure that everyone can get the recording after this. All right. I'm just going to be here to make sure. All right, the first thing I wanted to say before we get started, to use AI for competitive analysis. It doesn't matter if you're in a competitive market or in a specific niche. It actually also doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner in AI. We're here to actually show you and explain the main processes you can use for this. It also doesn't matter if you're on a small budget. Most of the tools that we're going to speak about today, they all have a free version you can use that can actually do wonderful things. The sole main requirement here is just that you're being able to spend at least 1 hour a week to drive new ideas, see what your competitors have been up to, and that would be the main thing actually required to use AI in all of your competitive analysis work. Today we're going to do a few things. We're going to go review how to use AI effectively for this specific use case, of course. Some tips, some techniques, some best practices as well. And the whole goal at the end of the day is going to, for you to be able to automate, for sure, but then most of all, make sense of all your competitors' update, and even more important, help AI, given all the data that you can gather, given everything that everyone is doing within your market, help you get better insights and sparkle better ideas for your own business. All right, before we really dig in, just a small introduction. Everything that is actually related to AI moves super fast. The more you learn, the more you feel like a beginner. Everything's changing. There are new models, new updates to models every day, every week, every month, new use cases. So don't be afraid if you feel like a beginner, because we all feel the same. As I've said just before, we're going to mention both free and paid tool. And most importantly, there are no, I'm going to say it this way, even with the paid tools, there are no cheat codes. There are no magic tricks. The process of working with the AI is not to replace everything that you're currently doing. There is not like a single prompt that you could use and then magically you're going to get all the data and all the insights and it's going to be ready to use. That's not the case. It's a journey. It's a process. You need to learn how to use AI effectively, and that's what we're trying to do today. So you still, even if you do this and when you do this correctly, you still have to talk to your customers, understand what they're feeling, understand what they're doing, who they are, and get your hands dirty and touch some grass sometimes. Today, we're going to be super specific. We're going to review competitive analysis with AI. Let's go. First thing, it's easy to, AI feels like magic. So when you ask questions to any AI model, actually, you tend to believe that it's giving you the truth. It's not the case. AI is not a crystal ball. It's not guessing anything. It formulates things this way. So we tend to think it might be a prediction. It's actually not the case. When you work with AI, it's working on data that they have. If I take the case of ChatGPT, for instance, the knowledge cutoff of ChatGPT is October 2023. So it doesn't know anything that actually happened after this. And so every model you're going to work with actually answers based on the data that they've worked with. And the way AI works in general, it identifies patterns out of its data, trends, and then when you ask AI a question, it's going to build a sentence, word after word, with the highest level of probability that this is the answer that you're looking for. It's not going to look for the truth. It doesn't know what is the truth. It's going to look for what's the highest probability. What's the answer with the highest probability you'd like to get. So when you work with AI for competitive analysis. It's not super useful to actually ask them right away, at least on a generic AI, what have my competitors have done last month? What should I do? It's not the correct process of working with AI. Rather, it's here to help you get external point of views. It's here to help you reformulate things. It's here to help you improve your own strategy based on all the data that the AI has gathered so far. Maybe try to do some predictive analysis as well, but never ever it's going to state correct facts and prediction. It can be wrong. It will be wrong. Every once in a while on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, you can see examples, or maybe you've seen that yourself actually, you can see examples of AI gone wrong, being asked a super simple question and actually getting the wrong answer. The main thing that comes to mind is just simple, basic calculus that actually every AI can get wrong. So you should know that, and it's part of the process as well. It's here. I love this phrase. I'm sorry, I just forgot to actually put I'm going to add this in the presentation before sharing the webinar. The author of the quote, this is a great quote: AI is good at everything computers are bad at, and bad at everything computers are good at. AI will hallucinate answers because it's based on probabilities. It's not based on the truth, and it's not a bug. It's just the way you should work with it. Here's our program for today. We're going to learn how we can explore our landscape, our competitive landscape, how out of the data that we can gather and the insights that we can get, what's the best way to actually refine them, to make them the most actionable possible, how to test our hypotheses and learnings, how to iterate on them again to, at the end of the day, being with all this knowledge, having done all this work, how we can adapt our own strategy as well. All right, so far so good. I can see, okay, all right, yep, for sure. All right, great, perfect. Before we get started, just wanted to say this as well. I'm not here to share with you the 100 ultimate prompts that you should use for competitive AI, because such thing doesn't exist. It might be actually a selling point for some softwares or whatever, actually. Prompts are BS, and I'm going to say it this way, and I'm going to say this very kindly, and because I'm also saying this because I love the way AI works. When someone is telling you, here's the perfect prompt to do something, he's probably wrong, because prompts are not the perfect way to work with AI. It's a process, it's a journey. You can craft actually a very good prompt that will give a super good starting point in your conversation with an AI. But the AI is not here to just simply answer a single question and then sending you an answer that you should consider as the truth. It's not going to be the truth. It's never going to be the case. Prompts are here to really just get the conversation running and get things started. The goal when you work with AI, is specifically in competitive analysis, is to follow the right process to actually get actionable insights at the end. So, first thing here, understand your competitive landscape. There are a few different ways you could use AI tools for this. And my three favorite ones actually here are GPT-4, now GPT-4o, and Google Gemini. I usually tend to consider that those two are equals. If you check the answers that they're going to give you at the same question, you'll probably get pretty much the same one. There's one big difference I'm going to speak about just a bit later. And then the other one that is super interesting in that case for competitive analysis is called Perplexity. I'm going to show you how it works just right after. And those are the three ones that we're going to study and use together today. A few tips for you before we dig in. Don't hesitate to share with the AI when asking your questions within the discussion, some PDFs, some Excels, some data and or sources if you have some publicly available, I mean, publicly available or not. Don't hesitate also, we're going to see this together, but to request classifications and reformulate your questions and mention frameworks when you're asking questions to an AI and within your discussions. For instance, in a competitive landscape analysis, one of the most famous one is the SWOT framework. So the strength, wins, opportunities, and dangers. So it will force the model to create better answers and actually answers that will be more useful for you. As I've said, when you ask a question, don't hesitate to re-ask the question in a different way. Surprisingly, you might get, you will get different answers, but you'll quickly have this feeling that actually every word matters. We're going to see this together as well. And the same, this is one of my tips because I've seen that almost every time I'm using AI, actually, don't hesitate to just restart the chat at some point with all the knowledge that you have. If at some point you had a discussion with an AI, you've asked 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 questions, and you're nowhere in the discussion there, don't hesitate to just maybe take the most important bits you've seen and restart from there. Your first shot might not be the right shot. The cool thing is on the stool, especially if they're on those tools, especially if they're free, the next shot is free as well. All right, Perplexity. I mentioned Perplexity. It's a great tool to do market research. You should consider it as an intelligent search. We all seen ChatGPT will be launching its GPT search. Google within Gemini is providing also AI answers. Perplexity has played this game since a few months, years now, and it's pretty good at this, especially at market research, because of course you can ask questions. So here I've asked a few questions. Find the main challenges and opportunities in non-alcoholic or hard seltzer D2C market. The cool thing is it's pretty good at actually giving you answers that are interesting, actionable, and at the same time it links you the sources that it's using. And that's key when you have an affirmation or if you see an insight that is actually quite interesting. It's also gonna, I don't know if we can see this correctly, but it's gonna link you to the correct source that is actually stating this. And it's a good way to ask a question, get a few insights, a few feedbacks on the main answers, and then go look on the specific source that Perplexity has been using, if it's correct, what it means, and all the relying data if it's available. And then, of course, it's still a chat, so you can ask the first question, find the main challenges in this market, and then what are some marketing opportunities in this market as well. And pretty much the same thing, it's going to be quite good as identifying this brand market itself as blah, 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 this one markets itself as blah, 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 and then gives you actually a quite good market and competitive landscape. All right, so far so good. All right, okay, I've seen this. All right, perfect. On to the next slide. Let's move to ChatGPT and Gemini. For me, they're equally as good when they're used for this matter. Actually, there's one difference I'm going to speak about just right after. But here you can see, for instance, I've asked the same question. I have pretty much the same answer. They're pretty good at giving you starting points and a few data that you can read after use in the conversation with them to actually find better insights and find the right nuggets that you'd be able to use for your own use case. All right, that was what I wanted to say. The main advantage for GPT-4, the model, the AI itself, can access the web. As I've said at the beginning of the webinar, the knowledge cutoff of ChatGPT is October 2023, but it can browse the web, especially I found if you ask him to do so. So you can go ahead, ask him a question and say, perform a search to find the most relevant data or the most recent data on this matter. And it's actually gonna do the job, perform the search for you from 1 to rarely more than 2 sources, while Perplexity usually have at least 5, 6, 7 ones. But that's a good point for ChatGPT, as it can access much more recent data versus Google Gemini. So the thing is, once you do start to ask those questions and understand a bit more about what's happening in your market, don't forget when you're using AI that it's a chat. You should not expect a single answer. You should expect a discussion, ask for follow-up questions, and a few tips here. Yes, of course, ask follow-up questions. If you're using ChatGPT, look at the GPT store. You can actually connect on ChatGPT different models that will actually make the conversation a bit easier. There are a few ones that are about competitive research as well. And one of the cool things that I like to do as well when doing competitive research with AI is to, I'll say it this way, explore role play and ask your question from different point of views to actually get different answers. You could ask a question as one of your competitors, or as a brand looking to enter a new market, or as a customer which is a mom, which is a runner. You'll get different answers. You'll get different brands, actually landscape. You'll get access to different kind of value propositions. And it's, yeah, each time that you're using AI to do this, explore role play. It's a very good way to get actually better insights and enrich the conversation that you're having with AI. All right. So that's the first thing. In the next few slides, we're going to use ChatGPT and Perplexity, both of them with examples to show you the kind of stuff that you can do. I'm going to use the same soda, non-alcoholic, hard seltzer market as an example. Here, for instance, it's a follow-up question to the very first one that I've asked before. Find the main challenges, blah, blah, blah. As a healthy soda brand, how can this market impact me? Provide your answer as a SWOT. We're using a framework, so it's going to make sure to highlight strength, weaknesses, opportunities. So it's a super good way for us to get a better understanding at the market. I'm also using role play because I'm positioning myself as a healthy soda brand. And that's the kind of things that you should do when you're using AI in your competitive analysis. It's a journey, it's a discussion. Never stop at a single answer, and use the tips that I've gave you. Follow-ups, frameworks, reformulations. Same thing here. This is a classic example for reformulation. Which other market can compete with this, and that will have an impact on our CAC? The same. Here, I'm using a very specific word, CAC. It's going to be the same if you do SEO, paid advertising, any acquisition channel, for instance. Using those keywords, it's going to force the AI to actually find the most relevant answers for your specific use case as well. Usually, these models are super generic, so they're never going to do this from scratch. You'll need to ask them. That's why, basically, that's why you shouldn't expect a single answer. You shouldn't expect a single answer. You should actually really follow up, reformulate things, bring something new when you discuss with the AI, explore role play, etc. Here, for instance, is quite good. Looking at this market, I've spoke about my CAC, customer acquisition cost. So I'm in the paid advertising area. And here I couldn't actually pass the whole answer, but it's mentioning new markets that maybe I haven't think of, but we're competing against the same audience if we're in the health and wellness market as a healthy soda, but meal replacement drinks, protein shakes, those are actually not my direct competitors, but they impact my market. And the AI can actually give me these insights within the discussion. Same thing here about role play, or go deeper for a specific target. Pretty much the same thing here. As we're targeting moms, which market are the main competitors here and on which value proposition? Pretty much the same thing. You can see that the AI is going to give me new niches, new products, new markets that maybe I haven't think of before, some names of brands as well, and more importantly, the main value propositions that we might compete on. And yeah, it's great. It's a great way to reading these answers, highlight the main nuggets, the main insights that could be actually for you. It's one of the main things for AI when you're doing this competitive analysis work with AI as well. Oh, cool. That's the first one here. Forget what's not good. You're going to have crap. You're going to have things that are not interesting. It's going to happen. It's the way it works. You should focus on the most interesting bits, the things that are super interesting for you. All right. Always keep trying and asking. Always refine your question. And to help you adapt your own strategy, this is maybe the best advice of the best two advices. One of the best two advices of this webinar is to ask the AI to be critic of something. It's surprisingly good at this, and in my perspective, it usually leads to actually good answers. For instance, what should you avoid? As a soda brand trying to enter the functional beverage market targeting months, we're super specific. What would be things that I should absolutely avoid? You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this. You can ask the AI, is that cliche? Is that a good subject line? Is that a good email? Here are how I planned my Black Friday this year. I have a sequence of 6 emails to these audiences with these criteria. Is this good? Should I do something more? Ask the AI to be critic of your own work. And it's surprisingly good at this, and you'll get super good answers. Pretty much the same thing here using Perplexity as well. Who are the people criticizing these markets? On which values? What's the best way to adapt? And pretty much the same. You can see that it's actually linking sources that are either publications. Here you have Reddit. You have also market researchers' website, and it's giving you super good answers. And each of these answers is actually an opportunity for you within your market to go and improve. You can also ask the AI to iterate on what you do. Pretty much the same here. Role play. I'm playing as Lollipop. Here are the most recent campaigns, my most recent email campaign subject lines with a screenshot of the emails. Please criticize them and suggest improvements so I can better catch my audience attention and better deliver my health positionings for moms. And here it does. It actually suggests you different subject lines, give you more ideas on things that you should do. The cool thing, it's still a role play. If you want to do this and get insights from your direct competitors as well, you can just consider that Lollipop might be one of my competitors. I have these emails that they've sent, and you can ask the AI to give you feedbacks on how can I do better with them if I'm targeting this market, this niche, or my proposition value is this one. All right, so far so good. Right, I've answered this already. Okay, cool, perfect, thank you. All right, great. Yeah, and then the goal, the end goal at the end of the day when you're using AI to actually help you on your competitive analysis journey. We've seen how we could get data, how we could get fresh insights, new point of view, how we could refine those data, actually get more insights by asking the AI to be critic of what we're doing or what the competitors are doing. All of these to make sure that we can improve our own marketing strategies. If you have the data of what your competitors are doing, you can think about, or just about the market overall. If you have PDFs or Excels, as I've said, don't hesitate to share this with the AI. Of course, sharing personal data with the AI is a total no-go. Never do this. But if you have publicly available data or just data that does not involve personal data, you could get also interesting perspective by asking such things or getting the discussion started by asking about content gaps. What are my competitors doing that I'm not? Who are they addressing that I'm not? Or give it what they've done, what I can expect from them as well. The same. It's never going to give you the truth, but it's giving to you. It's never going to give you the truth, but it's going to give you some insights that you could use to inform your own marketing strategy. All right, so far so good. We still have a few minutes. It's going to be quick. I just wanted to mention this also at the end. There's a platform that exists out there that helps you do this automatically. I'm going to share the link right now. I should have prepped this. All right. The platform is called Panoramata. It's a platform that will help you actually track what your competitors are doing in real time. And there's AI involved in several ways, exactly how I actually explained it to you previously. It's going to help you summarize all the activities of your competitors. Here, I'm a hair care brand, and I have these little summaries on my main 3 competitors on what they've done recently. I don't have to check. I don't have to manually check all these brands to understand what they've been up to. The platform is telling that to me automatically. Just going to change this way. One sec. All right. Perfect. You can also do the same for a very specific brand. You could do actually 2 things. Here on Bridgeo, you can actually have a summary, pretty much the same thing on what they've done during the last 2 weeks, ready to pass in a presentation summary of everything that they've done on their marketing strategy, or inspiration action point, what they're doing correctly that could actually help you do better. Pretty much the same thing. This is a new feature. This is a preview. It's going to be live on Panoramata within a few days now. Get insights automatically. On Panoramata, you'll be actually able to link your brand on the platform. And given what your brand have done and what all your competitors have done, we're going to be able to tell you, here's what you should do. Here's what you can expect from your competitors. All the latest, all the slide. The slide that I mentioned where you should expect content gaps, audience gap. All of these can be done for you automatically because on Panoramata, we're already gathering all the marketing data of your competitors, everything that they're doing online already. And we can actually do this whole work of summarizing, as we've seen, but also getting the best insight for your use case specifically. Here, for instance, it's going to tell you you should improve your newsletters, your email size, but make sure that your content calendar is ready because here's what your competitors have done recently that you haven't done, or here's what they're most likely to do in a few days or in a few weeks. You should organize an early fall collection. You should send a Labor Day email. We are 28th of August, so it's pretty good. New fall as well. And then you'll be able on Panoramata right away to actually generate for you. I'm using this as a Spanish brand to generate subject lines and more stuff for you to help you shape your marketing strategy. Last thing is what we're calling on Panoramata the AI assistant. You can think of all the models that I've spoke so far, Gemini, ChatGPT, and Perplexity as well. Pretty much the same thing. It's a model it's basically an AI model you can speak with to get the discussion running. Exactly the same kind of questions that I've showed you before. Only this time, this model knows exactly what your competitors have done recently. It's quite easy to actually set up on Panoramata. If any of you has a question so far about this, just send me an email or on the platform, hit the blue chat box, and I'm going to be here to set this up for your account. But it's quite powerful because it works with the relying model behind this is actually ChatGPT 4 as well. And the only difference is it knows exactly which emails did your competitor send, which ads they've published as well recently. So when you go ahead and ask the question, which discounts were promoted by my coffee brand's competitors, it's going to have the answers right away. It's going to link with the correct sources and the correct emails as well. And it's perfect at helping you gathering the data and exploring your competitive landscape, at least on a performance marketing level quite easily. Oh yeah, all right, of course. And you can, of course, on Panoramata directly generate alternative assets as well. Here, for instance, I'm looking at an email header, and I can generate different subject lines or pretty much the same ad copies, etc. And if you have an email that you actually like and you'd like to do pretty much the same thing for your own use case, you can click in a button, and in a few seconds, you're going to be able to have different formulations of the same thing. It works also very well for your own tracked emails on the platform. All right, and that was a basic presentation of the platform as well. Just that's our main proposition value: track your competitors on one single platform instead of doing this manually for each one of them. Let us do the work, and you're going to see it's going to work great. And yep, we have plenty of super happy clients, and it works well. AI is really part of what we're doing. I wanted to make sure that this presentation was not only about Panoramata itself, but rather about the whole concept of how should you use AI in competitive analysis. And as we're a competitive analysis software, a competitive analysis platform, it was important also for me to explain how you can actually do this without Panoramata, just on your own, as we've seen together on ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity, but also how we're thinking about this here on Panoramata and how it's a core part of our product as well. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, great. We're going to the end of this webinar. Okay, bye. Okay, great. Okay, thank you for all your feedbacks. It was great to have you. If you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out on Panoramata or by email or through LinkedIn if you'd like as well. I'm going to make sure that at the end of the call, everyone is going to receive the recording as well. All right. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Wherever you are in the world, take care. Speak soon. Bye-bye.